Hi, so let me just paste the link to the recording. Oh, the headphones were in. So let me just paste the link to the recording because I'm a little bit earlier with you. Yeah, I'm pasting it on Facebook. And I need to paste it too on Instagram. So that's gonna be nostril to nostril. Just going over the conversation about the wardrobe that supposedly destroyed and the fungus in the flood that I supposedly destroyed with my mother. So bear with me with a minute. Nostril to nostril. I'm on YouTube live. Okay. Just preparing because I'm a little bit too early and I should be with you in 7-8 minutes. Okay, but anyway, I'm recording, so let me just see if the link opens. Okay, you guys. So I'm with you, and today I'll be talking to you about French Revolution. I'll be talking to you about Snow White dwarfs and the heart, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So off we go. French Revolution lasted about 10 years, and it started in 1789 and ended in 1799. So it lasted for about 10 years. And, during the French Revolution, Ludwig XVI was arrested and he was executed by guillotine on the 21st of January 1793. So that was basically the end of French monarchy. And how is that related to the book about Madeleine Sophie Barrett? Well, this is not my day today. Oh, okay. So Madeleine Sophie Barrett was born when there was fire in her hometown called Eugene. And about 10 years later, there was this outbreak of a French Revolution in 1789. So, some aspects of Madeleine Sophie's Barrett life were actually acted out, happened also in my life. So when I was born, when I was about to come to the world, the battery on my, this is really peculiar today. So when I was coming to the world, there was a fire in a hospital in Tabno of incubators, and my mother had to give a birth to me in a different place in Tuhuf. And, Madeleine was visited by the parish, by the priest, and so we were visited by the parish it happened to. And he kind of, seemed to like us. Madeleine's brother went to prison as he was a priest, and during French Revolution he was in prison. And, it happened that my dad and my brother went to prison. Because they just had a fight in a bar, and my father broke the glass in somebody else's car with an umbrella. And Ludwig XVI owed had difficulties with national debts, and he had a lot of debts. And my father had a lot of debts, and when he died, we didn't know how much money he owned and in which bank. And when I came back from Holland, and I was discovering the work of occultism at work, then I had to handle a lot of bills that were actually not always my fault. Like, I resigned from the internet service provider and multimedia when I was in Holland. But when I got back to living in Poland, it turned out that they didn't receive it from me. And I had to pay not my bill, or with the internet or phone providers, I just had higher bills. Like, I told you already a story that I was buying a phone, and the subscription for the phone, and I paid 70 zloty, and the person sitting behind me paid twice less for the phone and subscription. And I wasn't into the best phone ever. I just wanted to have a phone. Or with the flat, I received invoices for the 3 months because the accountant made a mistake. And basically, I do really claim that at the bank it's highly possible that when I took a debt, not always it worked as it should. And just basically, I believe I was cheated on at the bank. So the thing is that Ludwig XVI was killed with the guillotine. And when I went to London on the 25th of February, I had to come back. I went there to see the British court and to file the motion to the court about witchcraft. But of course, the way I was walking with an umbrella, and I was scared of witches because they can access your Akashic records. So on the 25th of February 2025, I went there, and I was asked by the police a lot of questions, like where I was staying, should they pick me up somewhere, and so on. And when I wanted to finish the conversation, they didn't want to finish the conversation with me. I walked away. I left my passport by these policemen. And when I realized I didn't have any documents, the passport, then I wanted to get back home as fast as possible. So I was coming back home on the 26th of February. And the next day after that, I had my class with Rabbi Obi, and I have learned that the previous day on the 26th, something happened in Israel, that some heads went down. So, this is exactly how Ludwig XVI was killed. And I believe that Jewish people, highly possible, are depicted in Snow White as dwarfs. It's because of the special hats that they wear. So a lot of rabbis wear their kippah almost all day long. And a lot of Jewish women wear a shawl or a wig. Some Jewish women wear a wig, those who are married. And I have seen such hats in my family. So they were done by my brother's-in-law, grandma, and his entire family had hats that resembled dwarfs' hats. And basically, the fact that a lot of Jewish people wear something on their heads explains the fact that before the Second World War, Tarnów, which was considered to be a Jewish town before the Second World War, was the place that had a lot of hat factories and probably shops too. So because of long beards and because of those hats, it's highly possible that Jewish people are depicted in Snow White as dwarfs. And when we sit down to analyze or take a closer look at the name Ludwig, then you have the words Lud and wig. So the wig, something that we wear on our heads, is already included in that name. And back then, a lot of people, also from other cultures, used to wear wigs. But the word Ludwig, the name Ludwig, that it consists of Lud. So it's in Polish and in English, it indicates a group of people, a lot of people, right? And wig stands for this hair that we wear on our heads. So Ludwig XVI, died the way he died. He was executed by the guillotine, and I think there is one more link over here. What did I want to tell you? Oh my. There is a link to the wall. There is a link to the wall because Jewish people in Israel like to pray in front of the wall, and I believe I try to use the technique of protection from witches. So that is this wall, or a balloon, or color around me. But I think most people refer to it as the wall. So if you're aware of witches' existence or occultism, then you probably start using that. And there is one more connection in ice cream and the paint to the Snow White. So ice cream, we have a type of ice cream in Poland that is similar to a sandwich. It looks like a sandwich. And when it's packed, it actually looks like a brick. So basically looks like something like that, And when you open the packaging, it looks like a sandwich inside. So it's called Snow White. And it was released in 1984. And I believe, it's a symbol of a brick. It looks like a brick. It was designed to look like a brick. So therefore, there is this connection of, Jewish people practicing prayer. I mean, praying in front of the wall. But, it's also a dialogue with the way they were killed during the Second World War, because, some of them, as I already told you in a lot of previous videos, they were starved, they were gassed, and some of them later were burned. But there were also those who, were shot on their heads, standing in front of the wall. So possibly, the name of the ice cream, which has that shape in that name, Snow White resembling a brick, is not random. And then we have a paint in Poland that is of similar name, Snow White. It's a paint that you use to walls. So we have two things two products that come with the name Snow White that are strictly connected, used. One of them is used to paint walls, so it's used for literally for walls, and the other one just resembles walls. And it also speaks to the idea that, Jewish people like to talk about rebuilding and building, at least I heard in JCC Krakow that they focus on rebuilding Jewish life, right? So, yeah. So here we have the link with Snow White and walls, and as the history shows, yeah. Also, tragic events from the Second World War. And when we think about Ludwig XVI, actually in Poland, in 1960 there was a washing soap released with the name Ludwig. It was released by Inco Veritas. Um, so I think that there is this relation between which is constructing accidents and literally changing people into stones, because when we die, we all change into stones. And as I am the one who um, um, actually wrote about them, so I'm also the one who experienced a lot of their practices, and under influence of hypnosis or not. But when my father died, I also bought some stones for protection from witches. That was black obsidian, and the second type of a stone was um, happened to be amethyst, but I wanted to have something else. And I myself bought the heart. So the black heart. So in a way, you could say there was this exchange, right? Symbolic exchange. And in Snow White, you have this plot that talks about Snow White's heart. So the witch wants literally to get her heart. And the entire, all three fairy tales, Snow White, Bella and the Beast, and Cinderella, they are the group of sisterhood. And they all may have something in common with the blue agave flower. So the flower that which heart, blue heart, is cut out to make tequila. And then we can listen to songs such as Moulin Rouge, which speak literally about getting drunk with Mongolia wine and getting drunk with alcohol. And so I see some connections with Snow White and all three books of sisterhood. And as I was talking to you about changing people into stones, actually Wrocław is one of the places where we have a lot of dwarfs. We have 600 dwarfs in the entire city. Yeah, and Wrocław, Poznań, and Tarnów, these are three places where we have Sacré-Cœur schools. And well, basically today is not my best day, because just before the recording I had an argument over the fungus on the walls and over the wardrobe with my mother. So she just needs to act something out, because I'm talking about the wall today. So construction men are going to come and look at our wall that is covered with fungus. So yeah. What I wanted to tell you, maybe I will summarize it once again, is that in Madeleine Sophie Barat, which is the book of the very first nun who created the very first Sacré-Cœur school, she comes to the world when there is fire in her hometown, and she comes to the world when there is fire in her home. And when I came to the world, there was fire in my hometown. So I was given birth to in a different place, and her brother was in prison, and then my brother and my father went in prison just for a fight in a bar. And then the historical events were that the king did some debts and he didn't handle it well, and then and so was the case with my dad. and so is the case artificially, a lot of times artificially imposed on me when I got back from Holland to Poland. And Louis, the king, the last king of France, was killed by having his head cut off. And this was pretty much what I was told when I got back from London. I went there precisely to file the motion against witchcraft. And when I got back, I learned that the day I was coming back, some heads went down in Israel. So what happens is that witchcraft has historical key events closed up in the books, and it's a longer story of those books for children, from Sisterhood, Cinderella, Bella and the Beast, and Snow White. Okay, all right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with me today, and I hope to see you next Tuesday at 8:33. And yeah, so take care.